Sir Geoffrey Clifton-Brown.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise to speak in support of new Clause 41 in my name and my honourable colleagues. It's a very simple amendment. What it would do would require His Majesty's Inspector of Constabulary and Fire and Rescue Services to include firearms licensing as part of their appeal obligations. I would like to declare an interest as Chairman of the APPG for shooting and conservation and a firearms certificate holder. I first want to thank the Minister for Crime and Policing for attending our most recent meeting of the APPG to answer questions, a range of questions from a member, and we were very grateful for her time. I share her commitment to protecting public safety through sensible firearms law and effective and efficient firearms licensing system. It is not in the interest of the public or the shooting community for the wrong people to have guns in their possession. That is why I'm moving this amendment. Members will be aware that the firearms licensing system in the UK is a postcode lottery, with 43 separate licensing authorities. Inconsistency in the application of the law and guidance and inconsistency in services are endemic across the system. A quarter of all police forces are taking a year or more to process grants for a certificate, with delays across the system. In Gloucestershire, the force that I know best recently put out a statement saying that they weren't accepting any new firearms licence applications due to a lack of firearms training officers for 2 years. I intervened, and I have to say they acted quickly, and they've now reversed this decision, setting up a gold command, and I now receive regular updates from the team. But the time wait is not good enough, especially when the government are imposing a 133% increase in fees. An inefficient and ineffective licensing department endangers the public. The inquest into the tragic Plymouth Keyham murders in the Devon and Cornwall Police Firearms Licensing Department issued a certificate to the murder, then firstly removed his firearms certificate after he made an assault, and then incredulously gave it back to him when he'd done an anger management course. This was described as chaotic shambles, which couldn't operate its own risk matrix. It identified the murderer as low risk, when in actuality he was high risk and should never have received his certificate back again. I appreciate that the Minister has made reassurance that data on licensing department are now being made available to the public on waiting times for both renewals and new applications. However, this does not go far enough to ensure that police forces take inefficiencies seriously and put an action plan in place to improve departments across both England and Wales. So PEEL stands for Police Effectiveness, Efficiency and Legitimacy, and takes place every year, so for every police force in England and Wales. PEEL inspections include themes such as treating the public fairly, responding to the public, and resources and value for money. Firearms licences comes under all three of these categories, and yet there is no mention of it in any previously public PEEL inspection. In addition, I know the Minister has assured us that all funds they receive from full cost recovery of firearms licensing will be ring-fenced for improving firearms licensing departments, yet this is not guaranteed. BASC, who act as my secretariat on the APPG, have written to all forces when the increase in firearms licenses were imposed recently, seeking an assurance that all funds would go to firearms licensing. To date, only a third of constabulary have given that assurance. Insisting that the inclusion of firearms licensing and PEEL inspections is a powerful way to ensure that police forces are publicly accountable and they are funded properly and run efficiently for the benefit of public safety. This is a sensible, proportionate, probing amendment which I hope the Minister might feel able to accept if it were to be tabled in another place. Thank you.